we've been taught to be okay with negativity. We've been taught to live with depression. We've been taught to live with all of these anxieties. We've been taught to just take a pill and chill. Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Emerance podcast. I'm your host, Emerance Victoria, and today we are going to talk about fear. And then next episode, we're going to talk about knowledge. Now, I am introducing you into this world because I want you guys to be prepared. I want you guys to be knowledgeable. I want you guys to have no fear because the way you have to fight this fight, okay, the fight that we're getting into, if you're not awakened, you have to be awakened. If you have consumed some type of conspiracy theories, if you have been consuming so much conspiracy theories, if you have been questioning about this world or about what's going on in this world, this podcast, the next two podcast episode is for you, okay? Guys, when I was in the hospital last year for 2 weeks, I literally felt a shift. Okay, there is a shift coming. There is something happening. By the end of 2030, or even by the end of this year, you're going to see that life is completely different. I'm telling you, this digital age, this AI that the AI world that they're trying to build is going to be beyond us. Okay, we like to live in denial. We like to say, oh, that's never going to happen and stuff like that. But we all experienced COVID. We all experienced some type of obligation to get something that we have no clue what's going to do to us, right? So I want you guys to be prepared. I want you guys to understand that the world where we're heading, it's not going to be something that you would be basically willing to go through because we're seeing it. Some countries are already fully implemented in it. And I just want you guys to understand that it is coming, okay? But I also see a lot of people who consume this type of content. When I go in the comments, a lot of people are like, every time I hear this about all of these fears, Saturn, the black cube, all of these information about the devil, like, what do we do? What should we do? My love, the answer here is for you to get out of that creation, that limit. Okay, get out of the way that you are exchanging your time for money. So I want you guys to get out of that circle, of that hive where you have to work for just that one person. Okay, you have to understand that this is a well planned agenda that happened more than 400 years ago, that started more than 400 years ago. And I'm just here to tell you that I did not even know that I was getting into this. Okay. I was not even sure where I was heading with my podcast. But now, as soon as I turned 30, I feel like everything is clear now. My Canva right now is very blank. And that's why I really need to take a break from my podcast. But I am not taking a break from coaching. I'm not taking a break from sharing you my content, my wisdom. Okay. I just have to do it raw now. I don't have time to edit. I don't have time to upload long form videos on YouTube, but I have time for you. If you have, if you want me to speak to you, I will. I am going to be more and more involved on social media, more personal, of course, but because I want you guys to be prepared, okay? As I'm shifting my own timeline, as I'm shifting my own universe, I am taking you with me. All right, but it is your choice right now. I showed you the whole three-stage of the ancient Egyptians' religion, how they graded you based on your evolution. All right, we saw the Sahuman stage where we only function with our emotion, ego, and linear logic. Enough is enough. We want to be adults now. We want to grow. We want to become a sage. We want to be able to bend the universe as we freely will. We freely want. Okay? And you have to understand that you don't just reach there by just living in the matrix. The matrix is made to dim your light. The matrix is made for you to be a slave, for you to work for someone else, for you to spend your whole life and then retire at like 60, 70. And I see a lot of people being way older than that and still working because they cannot afford their retirement. Okay, this is a fraud. And I want you guys to understand that I am saying this to you not by based of fear, but because I want you guys to make good decisions in your life, especially if you are around my age. Literally, we're getting married. We're getting married and we're getting pregnant and we have all these kids, young kids, we're following their agenda, we're sending them to their schools. And I want you guys to understand that it's not normal. It's no longer normal because the age of Aquarius is really right here. We're literally at its doorsteps. Okay, you're going to start remembering stuff and you're going to want to dismiss it, but I'm telling you, do not dismiss that. Okay, because what is going on right now is the fact that you are able to still pray, you are able to still listen to your intuition, but soon you won't be able to do that. Soon you will have to go and ask a machine for answers. Okay, and it is in the Bible. All right, and that's why I need to take some time off so that I can go deep in it, so that when I come back I can guide you further, guide you better. All right. And I just want you to understand that this is reality. The reality you thought that was reality, going to school, paying mortgage, having a successful life, showing all your clothes and all your beautiful stuff on social media, that is not real world. The real world is what's happening without you knowing. Okay? It's exactly what's happening on TV, those TV shows that you're seeing, all these live events that you're seeing, all this FIFA World Cup, all these things that coming, bringing the world together, all of these things have an agenda. Okay, I want you guys to understand that the pureness that you have, that positivity, that strength, that spirit that you have is what the spirit of negativity want. The spirit of negativity want you to just dwell in it, want you to just go and live in fear, live in insecurity, live in low self-esteem. But honestly, the reason why I love spirituality so much is because spirituality has a way of playing with you. Spirituality has a way of giving you some haha moment that you're like, damn, I used to not want to live and now I want to live. And now I want to actually guide other people. I'm talking about myself right now. I'm talking about myself because I have lived, okay? I have lived and experienced so many things. I have lived and seen so many things. And it is because I had made a contract. My Kabbalah tree, my tree of life, basically told me that I am here to experience all these hardship so that I can come on here and guide you. My Kabbalah tree told me that my mission on earth is to suffer so that I can guide others. And honestly, when I got that, when I understood that, it gave me this empowerment, this confidence to come back to this podcast. But guys, when I came back to this podcast, I did not know what I was signing up for. When I started History Unveiled, it's because something within me told myself that, you've read so much. You don't need to be to the point because a lot of people must go and do the research. You have to go and do your research. I allowed myself to make errors, to make mistakes, and I am proud to come here and telling you that if you've listened to me every live, every Sunday so far, you've already known your history because the Bible is about you and I, especially when you're melanated. All right, especially when you're melanated because it happens in Africa, because that's our ancestors' story. Okay, you need to understand that with fear, you cannot go forward. With fear, you cannot dwell in peace. I literally understood this in the hospital bed when I was like, damn, when Jesus said, if you're lukewarm, you're nor hot or cold, I keep repeating that, but it's so strong because it's true. How many times did you actually understood that there cannot be positivity in negativity? And there cannot be any positive aspect. Your life cannot be positive and still have negativity in it. And that's a beautiful news, but it's also scary because we've been taught to be okay with negativity. We've been taught to live with depression. We've been taught to live with all of these anxieties. We've been taught to just take a pill and chill. We've been taught to just forget about it, to give our attention to something else, you know, to dwell in something we don't know what we're doing, we don't know what we're consuming. I want you guys to understand that fear is what's holding you back. What is also holding you back is the fact that you guys are separating everything. When I'm talking about love, self love, and all of those things, and I come here and talk about the five health, when it comes to spirituality, it actually cannot be a health. There's no spiritual health here. Okay? Spirituality is actually the boss of everything else. Because without a good spirituality, you cannot have a good financial health. You cannot have a good physical health, mental, emotional health, and physical. I don't know if I said physical, but I keep repeating these. But there are five health. Your relationships cannot be godly, cannot be good. Guys, the words that we speak, you never see God in negativity. You see God in good. If you remove an O, it becomes God. All right. So our speech is already teaching us something. And that's something that we have to start paying attention to. We have to start paying attention to the way we speak. We have to start paying attention to what we say. We have to start paying attention to a lot of things. And one of the most toxic thing that we've been comfortable with is laughing at others. We've been so comfortable with laughing at others that it became some kind of joke cam. We literally have it on TV. We ruin someone's day, but it's just for laugh, but kind of not, because that person went through some type of trauma, some type of negativity. You invited some negativity in that person's life. The person did not need it. But we see that all the time now. YouTube videos, people go outside and they do it. And no, that's not okay. It's not healthy. But we do it. We just laugh at people's misery and we wonder why our life is miserable. You are entertaining that. You are focusing on that. I'm not saying that it's not okay to laugh, but I'm just saying that it's important to pay attention, to be more conscious about our decisions and our words and the stuff that we let ourselves, be amused of, comedy sometimes. And one thing that I have to say is the fact that, again, it is an agenda. Okay. I grew up, ever since I was a kid, I've always questioned things. I've always disliked the fact that people laughed at the fact that I couldn't read at a young age. I couldn't read since I was like maybe like nine, fourth grade, fifth grade, pretty much graduated elementary school wondering if I can read. I was literally in seventh grade and wondering if I am able to even continue. I felt so dumb at school. School literally made me feel dumb. And guys, I got out of there dumber, okay? But actually smarter, because it really opened my eyes. I studied marketing, and I'm telling you right now, the reason why I did not dwell into marketing is because marketing is all about brainwashing. When I was young, I always had this vision. I had this vision, this image, and I still have this image in my head whenever I talk about brainwashing. I always see this person sitting in a chair like this with like this machine and the TV's right in front of them. And I'm like, but the TV is right in front of them. The TV. We all have a TV in our home. Magic, Hollywood, all of those things, it has its way of desensitizing. Desensitizing, is that the word? We're no longer sensitive around stuff, right? We became comfortable with Satan. We became comfortable with some type of symbols. We became comfortable with sex, sin, the very thing that the Bible warns us about. We became comfortable with that. And for me, I'm like, we only think that being drunk is when we drink alcohol. But being drunk is also when you see a woman, when you see some type of body. If you guys remember at school, we didn't have the right to wear certain clothes because it's a distraction. You're there to study, you're there to learn. But women, eh? Us women, we want the right. We want what's right for us. We have to fight for our rights. It's our body, it's our choice. But once I understood this whole thing, guys, this is why I'm wearing a head covering, because I'm like, it's the message that's more powerful right now. I want you guys to understand, to listen to my voice, to understand what I'm saying. I don't want you guys to be distracted. My dad asked me, why is it so dark? Why black? I'm like, guys, I have a black cat, okay? My black cat, his name is Lucifer. It means light, okay? Lucifer is basically the brightest star, the first star. I don't know if I'm right, but I think I'm there, right? It means light. People think that light means white. I want you guys to understand that I am sharing my light because it's through this darkness that you find the light. Okay? Going back to fear and darkness, guys, you have to understand that Hollywood, we have to stop looking at our lives, especially when it comes to spirituality, as if it's a movie. It's not. This world that we live in, it's not. We think magic is when you look at Harry Potter and the abracadabra. Of course, yes, there's some truth to it, but it's very much in your household. I was telling you about this whole TV thing, show, watching me, my power, all of that. You guys are consuming the spirit of my high self talking to you. You guys are getting this a little awakening. When I started my podcast, I did not know. When I restarted my podcast, I did not know what I was doing. But my goal was to start engraving or opening some brain cells in you. Because when I start asking you, why don't you question the Bible? Why don't you question your pastor? Why don't you question your teacher? Why don't you question your parents? Why is it that you've been taught to not question to the point where people you see around the world are hurting, but you're still not questioning? But me, I loved it. I loved it when this nurse questioned me. She's like, don't talk to me about God because why is it that so many people in my country, they pray to him, but we're so suffering? We're suffering so much. Why? And yes, you have to ask yourself that because when you ask yourself that, then you understand that many people are hypocrite, okay? And they don't care about your suffering. So you have to care a lot about your own life, your own suffering, your everything. Okay? Fear is there to make you not go anywhere in your spirituality. Your spirituality is the thing that you have to protect right now because the fight that's coming up, the fight that is coming up, guys, this whole beehive agenda, the hive mindset agenda, AI agenda, reason why your city's getting all this, let's control water. Okay, it's because AI needs water. You have to understand that. You have to understand that the fight that it here is right now, this fight is the fight for your spirit, for your free will. The fight for your Heru, if you listen to my Partner Teru video. The fight is just for you to stay in the red if you understand the chakras. This fight that they kept you in that red and they want you to stay there because it's safer that way. But I'm telling you guys, you don't fight this fight like that. You fight the fight by understanding the matrix, understanding the simulation, understanding the agenda, and not fighting it. You use it. You use the AI when it's still okay. You know, you use it so you can ask AI, be unhinged with me. Be for real. What is it that I need to know? AI might give you all of these things, but remember, AI can be wrong. So you have to use your intuition, practice using your intuition, practice using your intuition. All right. One thing that I want you also to know is that when you look at Hollywood and you look at the stuff that they've been trying to put you in and the stuff that they've been scaring you of, those things you have to understand there is positivity in their negativity and there is a lot of negativity in their positivity. So life is not like Hollywood. When we talk about spiritual awakening, it's a slow process. You fight with your lower self. You fight with that set ego energy. You fight with it because that ego energy is the one that only thought that you were only physical, you were only this body, you only had this emotion, and you only had the linear thinking. But I'm saying no, my love. No, you have this abstract thinking. You can think abstractively. You can have high health without the need of all the stuff, the medicine that they're giving you. You don't need all of that. You can heal yourself. If you look in Australia, this beautiful woman, I love her. Her name is Barbara O'Neill. They literally censored her. She cannot practice anymore in Australia because she was giving people a free access to free health. Same with Dr. Layla Africa. You know, there are so many good Christ energy that came on earth to try to tell us the truth. But you guys want what? You guys want to be comfortable. Nah, nah. If you want to be comfortable, then don't listen to me. If you want to be comfortable in your chair, you shouldn't be listening to this podcast. If you want to be comfortable, you want to die comfortably, if you want to die in your comfort, if you want to die with your sugar, if you want to die with your TV, if you want to die with your sin, if you want to just stay in this Saturn energy, Satan energy, this black cube, going to university, get this black hat, cube, the square. You guys have to understand that spirituality is all about symbols. You guys never ask yourself why there's an obelisk in the United States. You guys don't even know what's an obelisk. All right, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but it's like that thing that points there. It's like a monument that's like really tall. I call it the penis. I call it penis because it is actually, if you know the Osirian drama, okay, the part that Isis was not able to find is actually that. And that's why the obelisk in ancient Kemet exists. But it's very powerful. Did you know that if you even visit it, it takes your energy, sends it to what? There's the White House that's right there, guys. You guys have to understand. I did not know this. And I knew this, I learned this because I was like, I am not afraid. When you are not afraid, and this is where I'm going to talk about in the next podcast episode, we're going to talk about knowledge. Knowledge is the healer of fear. There's nothing that you can be fearful of. You can only use your boundaries. You can only stop consuming these Hollywood fake stuff, the fake reality. You need to wake up, be a grown ass man and woman that you are, being a god and goddess that you are. You need to wake up and see reality. Do your research. I'm here to wake you up. I'm here to tell you that the fear that you have is an illusion, it does not exist. It's just because you live in a limited cage. You guys have to understand, why is it that a lot of these blocks, these condos, these squares are getting promoted? Why? It's because your spirit has to be in a in a circle place, right? So that your energy can circle. It's deeper than that, okay? And that's why I need to go away. I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna focus. All right, I'm gonna focus because I need to know a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I don't know, but I know enough to come and tell you, wake up. I know enough to tell you that there's nothing to be fear of. Okay, when you watch all these conspiracy theory stuff, just go back and meditate. Go back and invite this positive energy back into your life. Okay, go back and listen to a good thing. And there's so many things that you need to know, because even music is very powerful. Anything that you consume really materializes. It materializes your reality. So if you've been listening to some kind of singer that's been promoting Satanism in his album or her album, you have to be very careful. All right, you have to also pray for your parents. Pray, especially if you grew up in a religious household. I was talking to my mom today and she said, I'm always praying for my children. That is my homework, is to pray for my children, for their protection. And I'm like, thank you, mom. I love you. Anyways, fear, okay, illusion. And I'm going to talk about how you can get rid of that in the next podcast episode. And then it's going to be a break for this podcast. All right. Now, always remember, self first isn't selfish, it's a standard. Bye bye.